I'm going to talk about something called merge MIDI, which is a really important setting. Let's bring up our transport here. So our transport is command 1 on the number pad. And before I talked about the MIDI controls, which are this little pop-up menu here. And let me zoom in on that so you guys can get a good look at that. Right there. So this little pop-up menu will hide and show the MIDI controls. So I want to show them, make sure they're visible. And again, the transport is command 1 on the number pad or window transport to show that. So this little button right here, we went through these in a previous video, but this is merge MIDI. And now I'm going to do another recording process, which is loop playback with merge MIDI, which is a great way to kind of input notes. I like it a lot. So, and as we discussed before, this layers the MIDI. It's almost like overdubbing on top of an existing MIDI clip, right? Think of it like if you had a looper pedal and you just kept on recording layers to the loop. That's exactly what's happening with this. Or it'll just add to it'll just overwrite, it'll add a layer to an existing MIDI clip. In conjunction with looping something, then it becomes even more powerful. So now that I'm zoomed into this transport, we know how to loop, right? So if I right click on the play button, I can take the loop on and off loop. Or it's just Command Shift L. We'll turn that on and off. So that will loop any selection. So right now I'm selected 2 bars here. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And it loops back around, right? So with merge MIDI, it's a very powerful way to input notes. So we have a track here and I've got some drums on it. And drums map in a standardized way. It's usually a low C. And the D would be a snare, and then maybe some of these A flat would map. And if you've played MIDI drums, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You can just feel around. So I have an instrument track here. It's record enabled. I'm kind of ready to go. And so what I can just start to do is I can just start to hit play here. Oops, let me get my selection back. There we go. So now I can just kind of play this back and play along. So I can, even though it's record enabled, I'm just playing right now. I'm not recording anything. When I'm ready to record, I can just hit the record button here, but I prefer a key command would be 3. And I'm just going to do, let's keep it really simple, do hi-hat quarter notes, right? And I'm just playing along. And when I'm ready, I hit record. So it's 3 on the number pad. Watch this. Just doing straight hi-hats. That's there, right? Then I can hit 3 again. 3 again. Boom. 3 on the number pad, not the other 3. And now I'm not recording. Now I'm going to add a kick. I'm just going to get I'm playing along now. Right? Now I'm ready to lay it down. Right? So notice what happened here. It didn't overwrite anything. I'm just layering now. Let's add a snare. So I took the record off, and it's not layering any of that. Okay, so now I'm going to lay down a snare. Again, I'm going to hit record, 3. Yeah, and that's how merge MIDI works. So merge MIDI with loop record, right? Or excuse me, merge MIDI with loop playback. Loop record is a little bit different. This is very different. And notice how when I turn that on, I right-click on the play button, and notice how it, by default, it turns out, now I'm loop recording there. It's hard to see. I'm loop recording there. Now I'm not. And let's move this over here just a little bit, just so you can see. When it's in loop record, merge MIDI is grayed out. It's disabled. I can't do anything with it. Let's turn it off. Oh, normal. Merge MIDI comes back on. Let's do that again. Loop record now. And this assumes that on each pass of my loop, I'm going to write a brand new MIDI clip. Okay, let's try that. I'm just going to do 1 bar just to keep it simple. And I'm just going to hit record. Here we go. and so forth. So I'm laying down all these passes, and what happened there, that might be a way to generate material. That's loop record, a little bit different. And so there's my first drum pass. Ooh, what's that second one? Not sure. It's some change there. Looks like I got some incomplete ones there. There's 3, there's 2, there's 4, so on and so forth. So it laid down all my loops. And notice how it pulled the name drums from my drum track. It names the MIDI clip. Next body of material, we're going to get to recording audio, and we'll see that the name from the track will apply to the clip. So naming is a really important session organization. So that's loop playback and loop record method, a little bit different.